Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 53. Study Genius and Study God. Hu Xiaoniu watched Qing Chen leave, and he felt a familiar feeling. Not that he had seen Qing Chen before or that Qing Chen resembled someone, but rather it was the attitude of keeping others at a distance. It was like when they themselves excluded some classmates from their circle, the polite and courteous surface attitude with underlying pride. This surprised Hu Xiaoniu a little. He looked at the building where Qing Chen lived and asked, "Did you notice anything strange about him?" Zhang Tianjin, who was wearing black-framed glasses beside him, said, "Wang Yun and Bai Wan are pretty, and they're his new classmates and neighbors, but he doesn't even look at them, and he doesn't seem interested in talking to them." "Yes," Wang Yun nodded. "It's not like the awkwardness of an ordinary boy, more like he wants to avoid us." "I asked Nanjingchen next to me today," Bai Waner smiled, "and he said this student's grades have been consistently in the top 3 of the grade, and it's normal for him to be a little proud. Aren't all study geniuses like that? Our study gods in the sea are like that too." Hu Xiaoniu shook his head and laughed. "Study geniuses in small cities have a low ceiling." In fact, Hu Xiaoniu was not deliberately mocking, but they knew very well that today's education in super first-tier cities was far ahead of small cities. The study geniuses in small cities had no problem reading English, but their speaking and listening skills were far behind. Even schools like the Laocheng Foreign Language School were the same. But in some key high schools in big cities, they could communicate in English with anyone standing outside the school gate. They had won countless competition awards and spent their winter and summer vacations experiencing life in the Arctic. It was like they were living in 2 different worlds. "Well, don't worry about study geniuses or study gods. We won't have much interaction with him, we're just neighbors who happen to live together," Wang Yun said. "Let's go in." As they spoke, they had already opened the door to room 102. The workers had already left, and the room had been renovated in just 1 day. They didn't do any major renovations inside the room because the time was too short, so they just quickly laid down fixed carpets on the floor, treated the walls with anti-fog treatment, and added another layer of wallpaper. For the 4 of them, this was just barely livable. "Actually, we could just stay in a hotel. We don't have to live here. Our goal is Lu Dezhu, and Jiang Shui doesn't seem to have anything special so far," Bai Waner said. Hu Xiaoniu said, "Don't be short-sighted. Since we've decided to go from City 7 to City 18, we should try to make some friends in City 18. Haven't you seen He Xiaoxiao's strategy? Try to team up as much as possible." Wang Yun still looked a little sad. "Do we have to slowly build a good relationship with Lu Dezhu? In my opinion, we can just spend money to buy information and resources from him." Zhang Tianjin shook his head. "Since we've chosen to come to Laocheng, we have to be prepared to endure hardship. This is what Xiaoniu and I agreed on from the beginning. We have no foundation in City 7, so all we can do is use the energy of the table world to influence the inside world." Hu Xiaoniu was the backbone of this group of people. He nodded and said, "Now we need to find a way to build a good relationship with Lu Dezhu, so let's put away our usual style. Although money is very important, it's not all powerful. You guys need to understand that there are many people in the world who are richer than us. When someone else wants to spend money to buy resources from Lu Dezhu, our relationship will be our greatest advantage." "Oh, by the way," Wang Yun suddenly said, "have you heard that Yang Yang is also planning to transfer schools?" "Yang Yang?" Bai Waner and the others were stunned. Yang Yang, the seedling for transplanting rice. A very plain name, but looking at Bai Waner and the others' reaction, it seemed to have a unique position in this top high school in the sea, which could surprise everyone. Zhang Tianjin suddenly said, "Wait a minute, I remember someone said that Yang Yang's grandparents are in Laocheng. Could she also transfer to this school?" Forget about that for now. I haven't heard that Yang Yang has become a time traveler, Wu Xiaoniu said. Let's go and see the new neighbors. As he spoke, he took out a delicate box from the room as a gift and went upstairs with the others. Dong dong dong, Wu Xiaoniu knocked on the door. A voice came from inside, Xiaoyun, go and open the door. It might be your brother Qin Chen. Then, Xiaoyun's sweet voice came, Brother Qin Chen, please wait a moment. I'll come and open the door for you. With a clatter, the door opened. Wang Yun smiled, hello little friend. Bang, the door closed again, and Li Tongyun said from inside the door, Mom, it's not Brother Qin Chen. Jiang Shui asked strangely, then who is it? Li Tongyun answered, it doesn't matter. The sound insulation effect of the room was not very good, and Wu Xiaoniu heard the sound of the animation series, Wang Wang's Secret Agents, coming from inside the room, and then the door never opened for them again. Wang Yun and Bai Wan'er looked at each other, Brother Qin Chen. This name sounds familiar. At this point, they still didn't realize that the neighbors in this building were one of the direct bloodlines of the Li Consortium and a single disciple of Li Shitong, so they had come to Laoqing with great effort, but they didn't find the real target. At this time, Qin Chen, who was being scolded by Li Tongyun, was standing in a small alley south of the cross street in Laoqing. The small alley had been there for some time, and the buildings were all Chinese style, with grey walls and black tiles on either side of the bluestone road. When it rained, the raindrops gathered on the tiles and then fell down along the ridges. There were 2 red lanterns hanging outside the old gold shop, and a blackboard was placed at the door, high-priced buyback of gifts, gold, cordyceps, and ginseng. Qin Chen, wearing a hooded sweatshirt, asked, how much do you buy gold for? The old man inside was weaving a bamboo basket and glanced at him, do you have an invoice? No, Qin Chen shook his head. The so-called invoice was the receipt for buying gold, which could prove the origin of the gold. Generally, when recycling gold, an invoice was required. Gold without an invoice might be problematic, and regular pawn shops wouldn't accept it. The old man looked at him and said, it's hard to do without an invoice. If you're sincere about selling, it's 220 yuan per gram, and I won't ask where you got it from. Today's gold price was 380 yuan per gram. Qin Chen thought for a moment and said, deal, 39 grams. 8,580 yuan, this was already a huge sum of money for him, at least enough to solve his urgent needs. Thank you for listening to this episode of the audio novel, The Timeless Hunter. If you enjoy this channel, click subscribe for more fascinating English audio novels. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, turn on notifications, or share on social media below so you can find this channel again. Let us know your thoughts. See you next time.